I'm often asked these days if Canada continues to be a place where I would want to live and grow. And I have to accept that I'm a bit baffled by the questioning when it is along these lines, because frankly speaking, Canada continues to be exactly the place that it used to be when people found it very attractive. There's really nothing that has changed about Canada. True, with all the global paradigms that have shifted to create a much flatter and a more connected, hyper connected, world reality, there have been shifts in Canada. We have had uh, a massive rise of connectivity uh, through adoption of the internet. We have financial integration the way the world has never seen it before. We are looking at drastic shifts in technological innovations in manufacturing and industry, liberalization of trade policies, advancement in transportation technology. Like, it's possible for you to crisscross the world in a couple of hours when it used to take months. E-commerce and digital platforms and information and communication technology have completely changed the game. So it has to be expected that things are going to shift in Canada. The number of immigrants coming in is very high. The number of international students coming in is very high. So when a society is going through a churn like this, it's fair to expect some challenges. It's also fair to expect some drastic changes. Now, the thing is one has to be very clear about why they are making the move in the first place. Like, I grew up in a small city in the north of India, not too small, but Amritsar, yeah. And for somebody like I, who grew up in a city that size, even moving to a city like Chandigarh or to that effect, Delhi, was like moving to a different country. So, if like, I'm very clear about why I left. I left looking for opportunities. I was looking for a cleaner environment, maybe at that point of time, a better quality of products, and relatively speaking, a lower crime rate. And I had all of those things in Canada, and believe me, they're still here exactly the way they were before. Of course, we hear some stories now of how the crime is rising in Canada, but one has to understand that we're also a lot more well connected. So things that we may not have heard of before now are in our attention, but more importantly, things that we wouldn't have cared about, now we care about them. So have things shifted? Yes, but have they shifted enough for us to start saying that Canada is not a nice place to be? I don't think so. Still a very high quality of life. It consistently ranks high in global quality of life indexes. Still a very diverse and inclusive society. There's some shift, there's some changes. There's also a very strong social justice movement which is looking to fix the mistakes of the past, or I shouldn't say fix, which is looking to acknowledge and address the mistakes from past. But still a very warm society. Still people who will say hi to you when you run into them on the street. Stunning natural beauty, from Rocky Mountains to Niagara Falls, some of the world's most breathtaking natural landscapes and outdoor recreational opportunities. World-class education system, Canadian education, top-notch schools, colleges, universities, trade schools, still a strong economy. Like, yes, there are struggles when you come in, but again, speaking as somebody who came from India, I would have seen the same challenges if I would have moved from the north of India to, say, to the south of India. So, not challenges that are any different from challenges that are faced by people when they have the kind of a move that an average immigrant makes when going abroad. Public healthcare system, a lot of people complain about it, but let's not forget it's a free public healthcare system. Still, the quality of the healthcare is very high. Access has its challenges, but why cannot we as new Canadians then rally behind it and say there's some challenges, and let's take it upon ourselves to solve them. Relative political stability. I already spoke to friendly people. That friendliness also exists across the political spectrum. Again, because we have seen the kind of a population increase that we have right now, there are reasons to see differences. Also, again, because social media and that connectiveness that comes through internet brings things to the fore. You hear about it a little bit more. There's also a lot more debate about it, but on the whole, people are still very friendly about their political differences. I like to believe, and again, because as an engineer who was a tech entrepreneur, I've had the experience of being embedded in the ecosystems that support people who are looking to create new businesses out of technology. Is a very tech friendly, innovative environment, especially as it relates to Canada being a hub for innovation. So, aerospace, digital media, artificial intelligence, they have a lot of attention in the country right now. And you should be very confident and in that Canada would be able to live up to whatever are your professional desires or your professional ambitions. Vibrant cities and communities. I live in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. I have to tell you, it's one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever been to. I love living in Ottawa. I have, since being in Canada, traveled across the world, but this is home. This is where I will always come back. I love the community. I love the people, deeply committed to them. And so has the community been deeply committed to me. You know, I'm not a self-made man in the sense that over the last 20 years, I've had multiple people stop and give me their hand when I needed the support that everybody invariably needs in their life, whether they're an immigrant or not. So that's worked out really well. And frankly, the environmental leadership that Canada is taking in its efforts to protect its environment. I know, again, we have challenges in terms of green technologies and sustainable practices, but at least there's a strong desire and there is consensus on the kind of political will and the kind of will that it would take from an average person on the ground. So all in all, you know, don't listen to the naysayers. Yes, we have our challenges, but also at the same time, we are very proud of our capabilities. We definitely have the capacity. We definitely have the mindset and the skill set to move forward and to address those challenges. One thing that I can absolutely assure you is that if of late people are talking about the challenges in Canada, then there's also a very strong, you know, undercurrent, a very strong grassroots effort underway to appreciate, to acknowledge those challenges and to find way forwards on that. So if you are looking to make Canada your new home, if you're looking to come to Canada to start a new life, if you're looking to come to a very progressive, beautiful, welcoming society, I would very confidently, as a first generation immigrant, tell you that please come. The doors are wide open. There's really nothing to worry about. And you can mark my words on it. You will be pleasantly surprised, and a beautiful life is awaiting you in Canada. So, looking forward to seeing you in Canada. And if you have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to, you know, ask me those questions in the comments below. Like I said, I live in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. I've been here for 20 years. I did, you know, a significant part of my higher education in Canada. I've started multiple companies here. I've worked in some really good jobs. I'm a senior executive in a charity right now here in Ottawa. So happy to take your questions on the settlement side, on the education side, on the professional side, on the entrepreneurship side, and just happy to chat to you up on anything that you would want to know as you make your decision to come to one of the most beautiful countries in the world.